Michael. Happy birthday, Mom. I'd like to start by saying the same thing many people have said, something my sister Anita pointed out to me many years ago. She talked about many parents she knew who got tired of raising their children and really didn't have the commitment to carry through their commitment, and some of their children didn't do all that well. But she was quick to pay you the really big compliment. She said, "But Mom never gives up." And that's true. You just, once you set an objective, you never give up. When's the last time Mom ever gave up at anything? When's the last time she ever made an excuse for anything? Never. So thank you. A few stories. One is, when I was a child, I was sick a lot, nothing significant, but the flu and so forth. And I remember staying home when I was in elementary school and sick. And Mom always went to school or talked to somebody and got the books, figured out what the lesson plan was, and we learned at home. And when I went back, I never got behind. I was doing really well. And it's obvious that Mom's a great teacher, but she not only taught all of us, but up until her 90s, I believe, she tutored in the Fort Myers school system, helping. She tutored up until 2 years ago a waitress at Cypress Cove, who's a Spanish-speaking person, helping her with English and learning about living in the United States. So how many people who are almost 100 years old have the ability and the generosity and the commitment to help other people? It's truly remarkable. Moving to a lighter note, when I was 16 years old, and I had been driving for about 2 months with my permit with my mom and dad, I wanted to get my driver's license, and I looked in the paper, and I needed to wait a week to take my test in Titusville. So I talked to Mom, and she said, "Well, I'll take you to Cochranton," which was a small town, "and you can take your test tomorrow." So she took me to Cochranton. I went in. I thought I did really well. I came back very dejected and told her that I had failed the test. She said, "Well, why did you fail?" I said, "I have no idea. I know I got all the questions right." The officer seemed really happy with my driving. She asked me no more questions. She went into the police station. 2 minutes later, I had my license. And really what she did was she asked the officer, "Tell me why he failed." And in doing so, she explained to me, he figured out he made a mistake. He got my paperwork mixed up. So, Mom, thank you for that. I just am amazed, Mom, at how much every day you help everyone in my family. Thank you. John?
All right. By now you've heard a couple of common themes, and I'll just have a couple quick notes about those, but one or two announcements. Tomorrow's brunch, which is in continental breakfast, is at Dan and Mary Tess's Whitman's house at 9 o'clock. And if you go along the beach from the Higgins Beach Inn, you turn left at the water, keep going as far as you can, and when you've gone as far as you can at the river, you're at their house, and the address is 2 White Sand Drive or Lane. So just keep going as far as you can to the left along the water. We hope to all see you there for Duncan and Andrew's birthday celebration. Also, thanks to everybody who took part in Dot's Delirious Decathlon today. That was great fun. And I have a couple 3 words for you. On your marks? Okay, because you guys did great. So some of these common themes are, one that isn't a common theme, I will tell you that my mother is the best natural putter I have ever met. She can make a putt from anywhere. Unbelievable. Up until right a couple years ago. But I would say that my mother is the portrait girl for the song, the rock and roll song, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Mom always liked to have fun. She'd tell me all the stories about having fun with Mary Jane and Margaret and her other friends and Lindsay playing tennis. They had to bake the tennis balls in the oven to keep them going. And play. When we had parties in Titusville or Fort Myers, Mom always said, you know, we got to have some games. We just don't want people standing around drinking. We got to have some games. We got to have some fun. Dorothy's parties were always the best because she had some games. She loves babies. Her trademark, Mary Tess talked about this a little bit, is she'd go and visit the newborn baby, and mission number one was get that baby on a schedule. She came to visit us when Molly was born, my first wife. It was the best thing that ever happened. My first wife cried when Dorothy left. It was great. One thing I realized along the way, but late in life too, is that Dorothy has a deep, abiding love for her children. You've heard all about it. She's not a mushy kind of mom, I love you, blah, blah, blah. But you know that she's behind you. Her favorite thing to me was, I was doing so poorly in math. She said, John, you gotta take a math class. And if I only had, Mom, maybe I would have done better. But you were behind me the whole way. If anybody ever gets in trouble, she's there. Happy birthday, Mom. Thanks so much.
Now, I want to get the results of the quiz here. Mary Ellen, where's Mary Ellen? So how are we going to do this?
Well, I think the people why don't you say who got all of them?
Who got all of them right?
And then go down top.
Who got 30 right? 29 right? 28 right? 27. A lot of honest people here. 26. Oh, Molly. First prize to Molly. 25.
So there's 3 prizes. So keep it going.
24. Mary Jane has 20. 23 is Mary Jane. Anybody else at 23? 22?
22 right here.
Okay. The Martins, communal effort?
Yes.
Okay, so we have 3 prizes. You may claim your prizes from Mary Ellen. Oh, the gift baskets are up here at the front. You may claim the baskets. Molly gets first pick.
Mary Jane is the actual winner.
Okay.
And you cheated, you won. No. It was a group effort.
I can tell Molly a few answers.
Well, Mary Jane, you have to understand that Molly is... There are a lot of competitive people in this room.
Molly's right up there.
Molly is maybe the top.
Mary Jane gets first pick.
Okay, very well. We can do that. We're going to. I want to give a couple of remarks, and then we're going to do dessert, and then we have final toasts from Lisa and me. But I want to take a few minutes to welcome and take notice of a few people. First of all, the youngest attendee at this event is Nina O'Sullivan. There's almost a century between her and her grandmother. Thank you for coming, Nina. The attendees who came the furthest for the event. Yves and Michelle from France, thank you. Now the oldest attendee is Margaret Galbraith, Mom's niece. She is not too many years junior. The non-family attendees who were the closest friends to Mom and Dad for the longest time, Bill and Ruth Martin, thank you for coming. The only relative here who is not a Lindsay relation, Jim Stieber, Dad's sister's son. Jim? The attendees who have known Mom the longest, and of course they are Margaret Galbraith and her sister Mary Jane May. They, as we've heard several times, they were sisters growing up. Thank you for coming, both of you. The attendee who did the most to bring this event to us and is getting the least amount of credit for it, and that is Russ Leonard. Thank you, Russ, for all of your support. And finally, the attendee who did the most to bring this event to us and deserves the most thanks, and that's Lisa. Thank you. So I think dessert is ready, coffee is ready. It's serve yourself, and we'll get started with that, and then we have two final toasts. Thank you. So I would like to give my tribute to Mom, to Dorothy, and start off by saying that we always called Dad the Energizer Bunny, because, and if he was, and he really was, then Dorothy was the electrical grid support network behind him that made it possible. She managed the house and the family. Now, Dad helped, to be sure, but anyone who didn't know that she was in control wasn't looking. There was no doubt about who was in charge and who did the most. They were a great team. Now, Dad in some ways may have been the star player, but Mom was better than that. She was the player manager. She was the star on the field, but she was also the behind-the-scenes power. Now, why did she do this? I think, first of all, she loved Dad, and she really got pleasure from watching him have fun. Secondly, she wanted to have a good time herself. And as evidenced by her enthusiasm this week, Dorothy is a party animal. She told me recently that the thing that attracted Dad to her was that she knew how to play. Now, it was not always so apparent as you watched Dad in his perpetual state of motion, but Mom was always right there with him. She loved to play golf, tennis, and swim, and entertain friends and family, and particularly the grandchildren. But behind the scenes, she was also managing things at home for a family of 9, and to include the family finances. Mike, our accountant, has often said that she did as good a job managing the family finances as any of the professional money managers that he knows. Thank you, Mom, and thank you for sponsoring the party this weekend. So Mom worked and played right along with Dad, and then when she went home, she went home and kept things going. And so when we think about the Energizer Bunny, we shouldn't forget Dorothy. I think she has a greater claim to that title. Mom and Dad were very different. They were very successful, but they were different kinds of people. Dad was totally intuitive. He made a decision instantly. Mom is analytical. She agonizes over goals. She plans and she strategizes. But once she decides what she wants, she goes to work. And when she wants something, she does not quit, she does not go away until she gets it. Her ability to set goals and then persevere until she accomplishes them, I think, is a unique gift that helps her accomplish everything that she has. Sometimes her goal setting manifests itself as worrying. I think if she'd been a business person, this would have been characterized as strategic planning. But she worries, she figures out what she wants. She's worried about each of us, children and grandchildren. And as one who has felt the focus of her worry many times, I speak for all of us when I say that we were lucky to have her support in her counsel. I'd like to share a memory that, to me, illustrates her ability to set goals, make plans, and execute on them. Margaret and I were in Fort Myers for a couple of days after Dad's funeral. Mom was tired and emotionally drained. She knew she was going to be lonely after everyone left. At one point, she'd said she'd outlived 3 sets of friends. So what did she say as we were getting ready to leave? She said, "Well, I guess it's time for me to make new friends." And that's what she did. She went out and she made new friends. She knew what she had to do, and she went out and did it. And the strategic planning is not over. Today, Lisa, you'll be happy to know this. When I picked her up on the way to go and watch the golfers, she was in her apartment talking with Margaret Galbraith about how to rearrange her furniture. She strategized, though. She said, "I won't talk to Lisa about that until after the party is over." So this party is almost over, but she's already planning the next event. And we salute your energy, your judgment, your ability to make others feel good about themselves, and your ability to get things done. Dorothy. And she needs no introduction. Lisa, the party planner, the party organizer, who's done all of this, and done a great job at it.
So this has been so fabulous. I mean, in my wildest dreams, I don't know if I thought it could be this great, but it has been a wonderful weekend. And Dina, who is my decorating. I have nothing. I don't know anything about decorating. Dina, we're going to be redecorating. It sounds like. Well, anyway, as the evening comes to a close, I'm going to bring the toast full circle by copying what my oldest son, Rusty, did. So you can feel free to join in with the refrain, which you'll figure out is not too tough. And if at the end, when I'm finished, if you'd like to add anything within reason, feel free to do that. For Mom turning 100, thank you. For Mom moving to Maine, thank you. For all of you coming here to share in this fabulous event, thank you. For meeting relatives I've heard of, but I never had met you, and it's so nice to meet all of you. There's my place. Yeah, did I say thank you? Thank you. For old friends who we've stayed close to over all these years, thank you. For Mary Tess Whiteman, that's Whiteman John. She's a niece too, everyone, but she's my age, and we've recently gotten to know each other. Thank you. It's time to turn the page. For glorious weather, thank you. For being lucky. That's something that Bob once said, when my father died, quote that he had, and I just think it's perfect. For being lucky, thank you. For my very patient husband, thank you. You know, anytime I say to Russ, well, what do you think? Should we go have dinner with my mom? He goes, sure, why not? Could we stop over at my mom's after golf? Sure, why not? Do you think you could hang up a picture at mom's? Of course I can. Anything I ask, anything we ask, Russ is right there. He's been wonderful support in this. For all the memories that have been shared over the weekend, thank you. For all the new memories that we've created this weekend, thank you. For the recent marriage of Aaron and Ben, thank you. And for our newest member, Chrissy, thank you. For the 2 new babies that are going to be born in the next 2 months, thank you. For such well-spoken relatives. Whoa, can you believe how fabulous everyone was? Their memories, I was so impressed. They're so articulate. Thank you. What's this next one say? I don't know what that says. And for this wonderful weekend. Thank you. Now, so here's the deal. We can stay here and have a crazy party if you want to. Or we can, whatever we want to do. But the place is, we can do what we want. Does anyone have anything else they want to say thank you for?
Thank you.
Oh, well.